Hello and welcome to another Board Crazy review. My name is Dee, and today I am reviewing the Fox in the Forest Duet with
your partner in crime, Will.
Yeah, okay, shouldn't tell him about our crime careers, but
this is a confession.
So yeah, but before we get talking about the game, we're going to run my introduction to it from our gameplay video so that you get a little understanding of how the game works if you haven't watched that yet. So here that goes.
It was a thorough one.
It was. The Fox in the Forest Duet is a game for 2 players designed by Foxtrot Games and published by Foxtrot and Renegade Games. Like the original Fox in the Forest, this is a trick-taking card game. However, in this version, gameplay is cooperative instead of competitive, with players having to work together in order to navigate the forest. Setup for this game is dependent on what difficulty level you're playing at. Either side A or B of the board will be used, with a number of gems placed on each location, indicated by the number of squares present there. Also, either 3 or 4 forest tokens are placed near the board. The team tracker, meanwhile, is always placed at the center path space on the board. Finally, the 30 cards are shuffled up and each player gets a hand of 11 cards that they keep to themselves. The top card of the remaining deck is flipped over to serve as the decree card. In this game, the deck is comprised of 3 suits of 10 cards each, and each odd-numbered card has a special ability. Each round then consists of 11 tricks, with one player leading and the other player following. Like in any trick-taking game, the player who follows must try to match the suit of the leading player's card if able, and the trick goes to the player with the higher value card of the lead suit, unless it is trumped. Like in the original game, the decree card sets the trump suit. New to this game are movement values. Each card comes with a movement value from 0 to 3. And when a player wins a trick, they add the values from the 2 cards together and move the team tracker that many path spaces toward their side of the board. If the tracker lands on a location with any gems, they may remove one from that location and return it to the supply. If they manage to remove all of the gems from the board, they win the game and may calculate their score. However, if the movement causes the tracker to move beyond the last open path space on the board, they must return the tracker to the center space, and a forest token is placed on that last space, shortening the path in that direction permanently. If any gems were present on the now covered location, they are moved to the next location over. And if the players ever find themselves needing to place a forest token down and don't have any left, they lose the game. The game is played over a maximum of 3 rounds, and after the first 2 rounds, there are some steps that need to be taken before proceeding. First, each space with a plus sign on the board receives 1 new gem token. Next, the players must place an available forest token on an uncovered end space of their choice. Any gems on that space are moved as before, but the game is not lost if there are no forest tokens remaining to do this. And if the team tracker happens to be at one end of the path, it gets moved to the last uncovered path space on the other end. Then the cards are all shuffled up again, and the player who didn't deal in the previous round becomes the dealer. If at the end of the 3rd round there are still gems left on the board, the players have run out of time and have lost the game. The only way to win is by removing all of the gems from the board before the end of the 3rd round. In the event of a victory, players can record their score, with points being earned for the difficulty level played at, cards left in the player's hands, unused forest tokens, and for finishing in the 2nd round instead of the 3rd. All right, so, Will, Fox in the Forest
Duet.
Cooperative style.
Yes.
I guess I'll start by saying, in regards to the original version of this game, the Fox in the Forest, TM.
I think they got that by now.
Yeah. I feel like I'm always down for a trick-taking game. I love a good trick-taking game. It's a hard sell for me, though, to try to, promote a 2-player competitive trick-taking game.
Okay.
Because, it's... I feel like a lot of the fun is sort of having to anticipate several people's plays. So, like, when it's just one person you're going against, I feel like it's not a ton of strategy. It's kind of like you can sort of guess sort of what they have, what they don't have in their hand,
Which is probably why they introduced special abilities on some cards.
Absolutely. I think they did a good job to sort of make up for that two-player restriction.
Yeah.
And I think the scoring system they introduced was, a clever way of doing it so that you don't want to just win all the time. But still, it's not necessarily a game I'm going to want to go back to all the time just because I would prefer, if I'm playing a trick-taking game, I'd rather do something that's, 4 players. This, however, I think, so turning that system into a cooperative game, I think that solves that issue entirely. Suddenly, this makes complete sense. And I think this is the way I always want to play Fox in the Forest from now on, probably.
I would gladly play either of them, but I can see where you're coming from in this one. The cooperative element, adding in the board and all the other mechanics, it seems to almost fill in the gaps or improve the things that we're either missing or we just felt were kind of faulty in the first one. I agree with you. Yeah.
The game, if there's one thing it definitely has in common with the original game, aside from the basic gameplay being pretty much the same, it's the fact that you still have to strategically figure out when to lose a trick, which is kind of a big thing in the original game, because if you win every trick, you don't score any points. You have to win some, lose some. You want to strike a good balance. In this, it's kind of the same thing, where you can't keep winning, or you're going to run off the board, and you're going to make it much harder for yourself to win, right? So, but obviously, in this game, with it being a cooperative experience, there's no deceptive element. Both players know when that is, like when to lose.
Yep. Yeah. When this thing gets close to that tipping point of going over the edge of the board.
Yeah. So like it's straightforward enough, but it's not like a thing where you can play thoughtlessly either, because you still don't know. You know what cards you have in hand, so you have a vague idea of what your partner may or may not have.
Yeah.
But there's always that possibility that someone's run out of a suit and you don't know it. So it's an interesting balance, because you have to consider both, not just winning and losing, but also the movement on the card. You can't necessarily just play a low card with a bunch of movement, because for all you know, your opponent might only have like the 10 of that, which also has like 3 movement spaces, and then suddenly, oh, you've gone too far.
Yeah, the other direction.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's a simple game, but there is just enough, I think, to make the gameplay from being too simple, too boring almost.
Let's talk about the board here for a second, and I think that's what you're getting at when you're saying that it's simple, but there's actually a lot of like nuance and difficulty to it. I think one of the big things I like about the board is that it's double-sided.
We're looking at the B side there.
So we have it on the B side right now, but then if you flip it, there's a whole different side that has...
It's a bit longer.
Has an even amount from the center, like of path spaces. All in all, giving you the 2 different ways of playing, the multiple difficulty levels, the different ways to score. I think it makes up for some of the intrigue that is lost by making it a cooperative game. So by that I mean, like, in the first game, because it's competitive, you want to win all of the tricks. You want to win as much as you possibly can.
You want to win all the tricks.
No, obviously you can't. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, there's this competitive mindset of, like, you want to win as much as you can, but then you shouldn't, because that'd be bad for you. So it's this interesting, like, push and pull, and it makes the game really, in my mind, kind of fun and intriguing to play, because it's like, the game's like saying, like, you should win, but don't win too much.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to me. In this game, it lacks that. Because, oh, I lost that hand, or, oh, I won that hand. Well, it doesn't really matter as long as your team's doing well. So it kind of lacks the intrigue that the first game has. So to make up for that, they give you a board. They give you something else to think about, something else to stimulate.
Exactly. The board it's a good, in-world, if you will, solution to the problem. They could have simply just taken the point mechanic from the original game and just like have it a thing where the 2 players are just making a cumulative score based on how well they do. But, this is definitely, I think, a better solution. It's a more interesting, obviously more visually enjoyable. And you do have those special abilities. It's a new deck of cards. And I think the abilities are really well balanced. And I think, you do often have to think, okay, when to save a card, when to play a card. And I think they offer a lot of maneuverability and opportunities to strategize. that the game sort of needs.
So my favorite one to use actually in this game is the gift card, where you exchange cards from your hand.
It's a gift card.
Oh, the gift card.
Denny's
this game comes with a Denny's, $25 to Denny's gift card. Now, my favorite one is the number 7 card that happens to be called Gift. The reason I like it is, one, it doesn't have a movement value on it. So you can so it has a 7 value, so it's higher, but still like in that middle, so you can easily beat it or go under. So you can sort of deploy it at all times, and it will have its use, because sometimes not moving is like the best option. But I also like being able to like look at your hand and being like, okay, I have way too many purple or way too many green. If I give him a low green or a high green, and I remember that I did that, I can, I can strategize around that for like a big moment in the round.
It's a good glimpse into what your opponent might have. But also it's also a trickier card, because it's the one card that can maybe throw you off.
Yeah.
Because you might actually give your opponent something they don't need.
Yeah, and it could mess up.
And then suddenly the balance is all thrown off. And
So it adds, again, some of that like complexity and intrigue from the first game that's sort of missing in this one.
So how do you feel about the forest spaces and the gem replenishment system? Because I'm kind of two minds, at least when it comes to the forests.
All right, well, why don't you go into that?
Which at least So here's the thing. This is not a heavily thematic game. I don't know. I feel like the system where you go off the board and you have to place one on that side of the board, I don't mind that. I think that's pretty good, and it adds a little bit of claustrophobic tension to the game that it kind of needs. I don't know how I feel about adding one automatically between rounds. It feels slightly artificial to me, like the game was too easy and they had to find some sort of solution for it, so they're just like, throw one on there.
Well, because this game has no theme. There's no thematic reason.
Oh, it has a theme. It's not very much tied to the game.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a strong theme. So it doesn't feel like there's much thematic reason. Like, why is there a timer on this?
Yeah. Also, why is the force shrinking? I mean, it's magical, I guess.
And because you can't automatically win, because of the way the game is formatted, you cannot possibly win in the first round.
No.
So, I agree. It kind of feels cheap doing it in the second round. Like, between the first and second round, adding a forest. I could maybe understand, if the rule was, like, after the second round, you add a forest.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with you. At least after the first round, adding a forest sometimes feels like, well, why?
Yeah, it's not my favorite. But I think the gem replenishment works better.
Yeah,
I feel like even thematically that works better. Just the idea that maybe you missed some earlier, and there's more here now all of a sudden that I didn't see before. But yeah, I feel like that's sort of a necessary evil in this game, at least. Just having to keep the game going.
Yeah, because some people are going to be like, all that progress undone. That's what it kind of looks like. Because if you have a perfect first round, there's only like 1 or 2 left. Is it 1, right?
Well,
it depends on the difficulty, And you're like, oh no, there's all these new ones out there. It can feel kind of disheartening, but then again, that also means that when you eventually win, especially if you do it in that second round, it feels that much better.
Yeah.
Because you've overcome so much. So, yeah, I agree with you. The gem system works really well.
Yeah. So I like the way the ways that the game can end too. I think they kind of made it smart that the only way you can win is by removing all the gems from the board in time. I feel like this game is kind of easy, at least on the lower difficulties. I kind of wish that the scoring was. I feel like I wish there was more. It's you just get a score. You just depending on how well you do, you get points for certain things to get a score.
My least favorite thing about this game is that when you get to the end of it, it's nice just knowing that you won.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to win.
But then they added in this point system, and it's just like, okay, congratulations, you got this score based on this this scoring rubric we gave you.
Yeah, but there's no context.
But they don't some games will be like, okay, if you get a score from 30 to 40, you did this well.
Yeah.
In this game, it's like, well, now you got a score. Well, next time try to beat it.
Yeah.
It's like it'd be nice if
give me a table.
Give me a table of skill
level.
What's
a good score?
if 40 to 50 on the level 2 difficulty is like, wow, cool, bro.
Well, I wouldn't use those words, but yes.
You know what I mean? Then last time we played D, we would have got a wow, cool, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just would have felt more meaningful had they given us some sort of scoring.
But it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. It doesn't break the game.
It would have also at least just give you, maybe if they had included a score sheet so they can keep track easily. As it is, you can keep track of your scores. You have to kind of keep them with the box, I guess. But yeah. All right. Production-wise, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not remarkable in any way.
This piece is wood.
That piece is one piece is wood.
I don't know why.
This is a heavy cardboard. These are fine. The cards are nice as expected.
I love that's the thing. I love the style on the back of the cards. I love the art on the cards. The artwork, the way the rulebook is formatted, all that, like the visual side on those things really impressed me. The component pieces, like the gems in this. The only one I really liked is this wooden
but I mean, it's all
tracker piece.
It's not an expensive game. It's obviously
I know. It's just
yeah. All right, so should we score this, Will?
Final thoughts,
Our deeply scientific scoring systems.
Yeah.
So I mean, I kind of made it clear in the outset how I feel about this game. Like I said, I think this is the better way to play Fox in the Forest. I think this, when it comes to trick-taking games with 2 players, I'd probably always rather a cooperative experience. And this is a really smart way of doing a cooperative trick-taking game, which isn't necessarily an intuitive sort of thing. I'm going to give this game, I'm going to give it 4. 4 stars out of 5.
4 out of 5?
I feel like I give the original 3.5. So, a step up.
Yeah. For me, I really like cooperative games.
Yeah.
When I found out Fox in the Forest was going cooperative, I was like, cooperative trick take. Okay, we'll see how it goes. But I was intrigued by that idea. And it did not disappoint. I agree with you. I think it is a slight improvement over the initial, over the first one, I mean, the original one. I think I would have given this game a B+ as my score had the scoring system felt more meaningful to me. It feels so arbitrary that it actually, in a manner of speaking, occasionally spoiled our success. Because I was like, we did so well. Oh, well, we got a number score that means nothing. So for that reason, I'm only going to give this game a B.
Sure.
But it is a very good cooperative card game, and it's a really good time, like a half-hour time killer. If you need a filler game like this and you like cooperative, I really do recommend this game.
Yeah, good couples game.
Yeah.
Or anyone who plays with typically plays in pairs. So thank you for watching this review of the Fox and the Forest Duet. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You can also check out our social media, which is in the description below. Our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are all linked there if you want to follow us on any of those platforms. And you can come back later in the week. I don't think we actually have a gameplay coming out this week, but if I'm not mistaken, we have a special review coming out.
Yeah, we're doing a review of a game that we couldn't film because of our limitations.
Yeah.
Playthrough of, I mean. But we have played it, enough now that we feel comfortable doing a review, so we'll have that up on Friday.
Yeah. So, keep an eye out for that. But I think that's going to do it for today, Will. I know, this is all you live for. But, sorry, we got other stuff to do. So, till next time, everybody. Bye.
See you next time.